This man is being subjected to a cruel punishment. They opened a toolbox, slowly cut open Mike's clothes with scissors, and hung an alarm clock around his neck. After choosing the right place, they opened a hole in the train, fitted Mike's arm with an immobilizer, and shoved his arm into the hole. At first, Mike screamed in pain, but he soon regained his composure because the temperature outside the train was only 200 degrees below zero. Mike's arm was freezing into ice and he couldn't feel a thing. While waiting for the countdown to end, the train manager began her speech. She's trying to get the poor people at the bottom of the train to recognize their place.
I belong to the front. You belong to the tail. Know your place. Keep your place.
As the countdown ended, Mike's arm was pulled out. Meanwhile, a huge hammer was ready. A man with a spoon tapped his arm, and then Mike fell to the ground in agony. In the future, mankind, in response to global warming, fires an excessive amount of coolant into the atmosphere. This causes the Earth's temperature to plummet, and 90% of all living things go extinct, and all that's left of the human is this train traveling through the ice. This is the food of the poor people on the train. But when Chris saw what it was made of, he almost threw up. It turns out their food is made from cockroaches, and the poor people were still fighting over these protein blocks. That's what they've been eating for 17 years. Chris couldn't take it anymore. He's going to lead the poor against the rich people who live at the head of the train. But just as Nangong was about to open the next door, Yuma suddenly shouted, but the door had already been opened. Behind the door stood a group of masked soldiers with axes. They took out a fish, then used the axe to cut open the fish's stomach, so that the axe was covered with the fish's blood, because fish blood can make wounds hard to heal. With a command from the rich leader, all the masked soldiers put on their night vision devices. Before Chris could react, the train suddenly entered a long tunnel. Without night vision, the poor people were plunged into darkness, unable to see anything. They were powerless against the soldiers. At this moment, a boy lit a torch. He ran to Chris with the torch in his hand. Soon, the burning flames lit up the train. The poor people began to fight back. Eventually, Chris managed to capture the rich leader.